Hi everyone, and welcome to Climb Week 2. Climb Week 2. I don't know about y'all, but I think Week 1 went by really fast, and I think that the whole time is going to go by super quick. So I just want to encourage you to do your very best to stay on top of your videos and your challenges. And I know that sometimes it can feel like a lot's coming at you. You know, maybe you have a full-time job or a part-time job in addition to Scentsy. Maybe you volunteer, maybe you have a family, you work out, whatever. Like, I know that our lives are busy, but I just want to encourage you to stick with this program and really give it 100%. It's only 8 weeks. It's such a short period of time. And I know that if you truly invest in this program and you commit to it, you're going to get fantastic results, not only now, but if you continue these actions, you're only going to see great results throughout the fall and everything. So it's totally worth your time. Just commit to this program and really give it your all. You're going to have great results if you do that. Okay, so welcome to Week 2. I'm Katie Farner, Superstar Director for the Sunshine State Superstars, and I'm super honored to talk to you guys about finding your party style. All right, so one thing that you will hear from every single leader, doesn't matter who they are, where they live, you're always going to hear that you've got to party. Now, a lot of people automatically assume when they hear that, that means home parties. And they're like, forget that, I don't have time for home parties. That is not what we mean when we say you have to party. Do I love home parties? Do I encourage people to do home parties? Absolutely. But is that the only way to party? Absolutely not. This business has evolved so much, even just over the last 9 years that I've been a Scentsy consultant. There are so many more ways to do this thing and to party. So when we say we want you to find your party style and rock it, what we mean is we want you to learn all the different ways that there are to party, find your preferred methods of partying based on your schedule and your availability and all of that stuff, and just what you enjoy. And those are the party styles that we want you to pursue consistently. Now, there are going to be people that contact you, and let's say that maybe your preferred party styles are, Facebook parties and events. Let's say those are your 2 preferred party styles. And then someone reaches out to you and says that they want to do a bag party. I would never advise you to say, oh, sorry, I don't do bag parties. I only do Facebook parties and events. No. You got to be able to do it all, because the customer is always right? The customer needs you to provide them whatever it is that they're looking for. So be prepared and know how to do all the party styles. But by all means, have certain ones that are your preference that you're consistently pursuing. And that's something that you're going to find every single week, a word that you're hearing a lot, and that is consistency, because that's where your success comes from. It doesn't come from just doing an action once or twice every 6 months. It comes from consistently performing these actions. And so we want you to find your preferred party method, and every single month be consistently asking for those opportunities, consistently having booking conversations or pursuing bookings. Every single month, that needs to be one of your priorities for your business. In Week 1, we talked about networking. And the great thing is, if that is, like we mentioned in Week 1, the foundation of your business, and every single month you're ensuring that you're networking, you're going to continue to grow a network of people that you can have booking conversations with, that you can go to for referrals, for bookings and things like that. So that's why networking is so important, because everything is built off of that foundation of networking. And that's why we talked about that in Week 1, because that has to be first. That's your solid foundation that you build everything else off of. So here in Week 2, we're going to talk about some of the different party styles. Now, just like I'm encouraging you to do, and Morgan is encouraging you to do, I have my preferred party styles. I personally, bag parties is my favorite. I love doing bag parties. Now with my schedule and everything, bag parties are just my number one go-to. And then I would say that home parties are my second favorite. So those are my two priorities. Those are the two that I tend to focus on offering. Of course, I do events, I do fundraisers, I'll do texting parties, I've done Facebook parties, and all the different ones that I'm going to talk to y'all about today. But I've got my preference, just like I'm encouraging you to do. All right, so let's talk about some of the different party styles. First, I'm going to talk with you guys about bag parties. And I actually have an example here of one of my bag parties. My other one is out, which is actually my better one, but regardless, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so normally for my bag parties, like the other one that it's out right now, I have all of my testers divided up. The testers are not divided up yet in this one. So you can see, here is my bag party. Back up a little bit. So here is my bag party, y'all. Now these bags, I love because they're clear. So when my hostess is carrying this bag around, I know that people are going to be seeing what is in here, and that is going to spark their curiosity. So this bag is from Amazon. If you actually just go to Amazon and type clear beach bags or clear, this one is actually I can post the link. Hopefully I'll remember. I can post the link to the bag, but if you go to Amazon and just type like clear beach bags, you'll find lots of great options. So again, I like this one because it's fully clear. Now, on the outside of my bag party, you'll see this little resource here. So this is a, what I like to call a basket Bible. Now I know that this is in the Sunshine State Superstars Family of Teams Facebook group, and I'm pretty sure Morgan's gonna have it in her group as well. This is just the generic one that is for any catalog. It used to be, there was a consultant that had an assistant who designed one of these for every single catalog season, but this previous catalog season, they just made a generic one. And so this is the generic one. And you can see that I have printed this, cut it up, and laminated it, and put it on a ring. So I printed it here at home, right with my colorful printer, and laminated all the individual pages and then put them on this little ring, and it's right here on the outside of the bag. Super convenient, and it says Scentsy on the front. So that's what that is. Now, inside of my bag party, I always include some products for them to be able to show, so people can see what some of the products look like. I'm gonna move this. So, Scent Circle, Counter Clean. Now, I've had somebody ask me before, do you let them use these products? Something that is completely sealed like this, no. But something like this, absolutely. This is like maybe a quarter left in this bottle. I would actually encourage my hostess to loan this to people. Let them take it home and use it. Get people trying it, because if people try it, they're going to want to buy it. Now, if you don't want to put a whole bottle in there, you can actually just put a sample size in there, and then you don't have to stress about, oh, is it even going to come back to me? So I actually have samples of Counter Clean back over there, just in clear plastic bottles that I got from Amazon. And you could do that same thing, and that way you could have a bunch ready to go, and then you don't have to worry about your hostess returning it to you if that's a concern for you. I like to include a full-size one because I want them to see the pretty packaging and stuff, but that's totally up to you. This is just what I do. Like I said, a Scent Circle. I always include a room spray, if possible, because sometimes it's in another bag party, but I always like to include a room spray of the scent of the month, if possible. If not, just any room spray will do, but I like to do the scent of the month, and our scent of the month is Squeeze of the Day, and it smells super good. So I like to include a room spray and a bar of the scent of the month. And I tell my hostess, like if she works at an office and they don't have a warmer in the office, I'll offer her a warmer on loan, and I'll tell her that she can warm that scent. She can warm a couple cubes from there, because I want them to smell it. If they can smell it, she can sell it. So it's worth my investment of that bar, a couple of cubes from that bar, for people to be able to actually smell it warming. So I also like to include samples that she can give away. Most often, and I just haven't gotten my samples back from my assistant yet, so I don't have them in here, but I put other samples in there just to show you, and so I would remember to talk about it. But usually I put samples of the scent of the month, and just small little baggies with crinkle cut samples of the scent of the month. I usually include like between 5 and 7 samples, and I tell my hostess, give away these samples, encourage people to warm them so they can experience it during the course of your party. But you can include samples of any kind that you want, and tell your hostess, give this to whoever you think would most enjoy it. So here's 2 just little Scentsy Soak samples. These containers are from the Dollar Tree, very, very inexpensive. And Scentsy Soak is awesome for making samples because so little goes so far. And then material-wise, I always include several product sheets. I love these product sheets because they're super inexpensive, and so I just include several. And then I also include usually 3 to 4 catalogs, depending on how successful I predict the hostess to be. You'll notice that there is something sticking up out of the catalog, and that is a Scentsy Club postcard. So this is actually the graphic from the workstation, from the marketing tab, and I put it right here in the catalog right next to the Scentsy Club section because I am marketing Scentsy Club hardcore. I almost said I'm marketing Scentsy Club like it's my job, which is a funny thing to say because it is my job to market Scentsy Club. So of course I shouldn't say that, but I am marketing Scentsy Club hardcore, y'all. And the reason I'm doing that is because Scentsy Club is like the best thing since sliced bread. And we're going to talk about that in our final week. So you'll learn more about that then. I also include a bank bag from Scentsy Success with order forms. I usually have 10 to 15 order forms in there. And what I like to do is highlight all of these sections that I want filled out. Our hostesses are not going to understand the priority of these being filled out unless we relay that to them. So make sure that with your bag parties, you are encouraging your hostess to get all these fields completed. Now, if my hostess returns these to me without those completed, like I've had hostesses turn these back in with just a first name, and I'm like, girl, I need at least a last name and an email address to even be able to enter this. Can you get me that information and text it back to me? And they always give me the information, always. So if they don't give it to you at first, don't be afraid to ask for it again. Another thing that one of my downlines started doing, and I need to make some of these for myself. One of my downline directors, actually, Abby Willis, many of you guys in here know her. She actually has a sticker that she puts at the top up here. She usually covers this section because that's just date, hostess, and consultant. So she'll cover that section with the sticker, and it's just an Avery address label, and there's like a red stop sign image, and then next to it, it basically says, stop, please fill out all of this information. I need all of it for your warranty purposes, something along those lines. So I love that. I need to print some of those stickers because I thought that was genius. Okay, so that's what my bag parties look like. To do a bag party, you obviously need your testers. Basically all you need is testers and catalogs. All the other stuff is extras. They're great little perks to include, but if you're brand new and you're like, dude, I don't have all that stuff to include in my bag party, that's cool. Don't let that stop you. Work with what you have. If you can't make samples, then you do a bag party without samples. What they need are the testers and the catalogs and the order forms. That is all they need to be able to smell and experience and place an order. That's it. So bag parties are fantastic because your hostess is basically like your little employee. She's walking around, she's sharing Scentsy, she's doing your job. And you get a glimpse of, well, let me say it this way. She gets a glimpse of your job. So oftentimes I find that bag party hostesses are my easiest to recruit because they're literally doing our entire job. They're doing our job for us. They're like our employee. So they get to experience, especially if it's a successful party, how great it is to be a consultant. So always remember that how your bag party hostess performs is a great indication of how she could be as a consultant. So don't forget to think about that. And then offer her the ability to join your team and gifting her the party. Generosity is always rewarded, y'all. But anyway, so bag parties, I usually allow my hostesses only 2 weeks maximum. I give them 1 to 2 weeks unless there's like some outstanding circumstance. Like and this time of year, being the summer, it's the best time of the year for bag parties. It's a fantastic time because people are traveling and, going to see family, going to the beach, going here, going there. It's a great time for them to take a party on the go, and that's exactly what a bag party is. So that is bag parties in a nutshell. And later this week, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my actual wording. So a good friend of mine, Carrie Bro, has a YouTube video, which I'm going to share later in the week as well. And it's my favorite. It's how I do my bag parties as well. And it's basically like a texting hostess coaching method. So I have 7 or 8 texts saved in my phone. And when my bag party hostess has the bag, I'm texting her, okay, so day 1, here's what I text her. Day 3, here's what I text her. Day 6, here's what I text her. It's a series of texts throughout the course of them having the bag party. And that way I could just copy and paste, and change the hostess's name. It's super easy, super simple, and I have found it to be very, very effective, the wording and just the way it all goes. So that's something I'm going to share with you guys here in our files section this week, so stay tuned and look for that, so that can help you with your bag parties if that's your style. So that's party style number 1, bag parties. What do you guys think? Pretty simple, right? You literally put the bag together, meet the hostess to give it to her or mail it to her, coach her throughout the process of her having it with some simple text messages. Then you also, side note, I actually have a YouTube video, which I totally forgot about this until now. I haven't used it this whole catalog season yet. My gosh, and it's June, so wow. Anyway, I have a YouTube video, and this is something that you could do as well. I have a video that's probably about 10 minutes long, and I can share that with y'all. And it is basically me hostess coaching a bag party hostess. And it's just reminding them of who the checks are made out to, what they need to do with their order forms, focusing on combine and saves and stuff like that. So that's something that you can email if you have that saved or a video saved on your phone. You could shoot that over to your hostess as part of the coaching method, so she has that on hand if she ends up with a quick question. So that's bag party hostesses, bag parties, really simple, really easy. The hardest part of the job is bagging the orders after they are delivered to you. And you always have the option to have them delivered to your hostess if you want to do that. I just prefer not to because I want to put my label on everything if she's not joining my team. Okay, so that's bag parties. Now we're going to move on to talking about fundraisers. So I've actually prepared a little packet to show you guys. So party, again, doesn't just mean party. It basically, when we say find your party style and rock it, we pretty much just mean anytime that you're putting a group of orders together and it's getting that party minimum of 200 PRV, that's considered a party. So there's so many different ways to pursue that. Fundraisers are one of them. So a fundraiser, if you don't know what they are, a fundraiser is basically you are working with an organization, a club, a nonprofit, a family, or an individual in need, a church, a school, a club at a school. I mean, there's endless opportunities for fundraisers. So you're working with one of those organizations, groups, clubs, whatever, and you are pairing together with them to sell Scentsy products, and you are donating your commission to that organization or individual, family, club, whatever, and you keep the hostess rewards for yourself. So you're donating your commission, whatever percentage of your commission that you choose to donate, and they are getting that donation, obviously. And of course, your donation, as long as it's not to an individual or a family, is actually tax deductible. It's considered a gift, right? So it's important to keep track of all of those that you do throughout the year. So fundraisers are a great opportunity for you to grow your network, get new customers to follow up with, book parties, all of that great stuff. And one thing that you'll notice is when you do find your party styles and you really start rocking it and doing it consistently, Parties lead to more parties. Fundraisers lead to other fundraisers, lead to parties. Bag parties lead to other bag parties, lead to parties, lead to events, parties lead to more parties. Why? Because you're putting your name out there, you're sharing Scentsy, and when you're doing that, it's inevitable that you're going to get more growth from it. So it just creates a healthy pattern when you party. That's why we encourage you to do it, because we don't want you to, enjoy a commission check once every 4 months. We want you to enjoy a commission check every single month. So if you get into a habit of partying, that's what's going to happen for you. Okay, so again, and there's so many different ways to do fundraisers. You can do fundraisers online. I've done online only fundraisers, which are the easiest form possible because people are literally just going to your website via the link for the specific fundraiser, shopping, it's shipping right from Scentsy to their door. All you're doing is donating the commission and sending thank yous to the people who shopped online, because you always want to thank your PWS shoppers. Every single PWS shopper gets a handwritten thank you note and a free scent circle from me. Every single one. You better reward them. They're paying shipping. It's a super easy thing for you. You're not having to do anything. Reward them, because you want them to repeat that behavior, right? You want them to order on your website again and again and again. So reward them for doing it, and they will repeat it. I promise you that. And that's something else we're going to talk about later in this series. Okay, online fundraisers. You can do fundraiser packets like this, where you've got students or individuals who are out sharing and selling via packets. You can do a fundraiser where you set up at a PTO meeting and you're selling products off your table, cash and carry, and then you just donate from what you sell that night. There's so many different ways that you can do fundraisers, but it's a fantastic way to grow your network, get some great PRV, and get some other bookings. So what I wanted to show you today is the most traditional form of a fundraiser, which is where you have individuals, students, club members, whatever, that are selling via these packets. So these packets are available from Scentsy Success. I love the outside because it's got a log here of all of your people that order from this student. You would write envelope, like let's say that there's 50 students, this would be envelope 6 of 50. The organization or teacher's name, the student's name, the consultant name, orders and money due by, which is super important, make checks payable to you, the consultant, right? And the other thing about fundraisers is you want to make sure that a fundraiser begins and ends all within the same month. You don't want to start a fundraiser in June and then it roll over through July or August. It's better to have it start and end all within 1 month, especially if there's going to be online orders involved. So here's the back of the packet. What I love about it is it has fundraising instructions that are just standard and will apply to all consultants. And then on the back, I just go ahead and stamp it with my information versus wasting a label, right? It's always better to do a stamp. I'll show you this real quick. This stamp is from Etsy. It's a Scentsy authorized vendor. So if you actually go to Etsy and search Scentsy stamp, you will find it. It's available in black or purple ink, and I love it. It's really nice quality. I like it. I stamp everything with it. So anyway, inside my fundraiser packets, I always include a prize sheet, which I don't have one here, but a prize sheet. So basically saying like, hey, any students who sell over $200 are going to be entered into a drawing to win blah. Any students who sell $500 are going to be entered into a drawing to win blah. Any students who sell $750 automatically get blah prize. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can use some of your Hostess rewards to give prizes. And so that's a great way to reward them for their sales without paying out of pocket, because you're using these Hostess rewards that you're getting anyway. So inside them, I will always include a prize sheet. I usually include 3 to 4 showcase brochures. Showcase brochures are my favorite to do for fundraisers like this. I prefer a full catalog fundraiser because you never know. Somebody might order 5 warmers. Like, I'd rather get 1 order with 5 warmers than, 10 orders with 3 scent circles on them. You know what I mean? I prefer a full catalog fundraiser, but there's so many different things you can do. You can do scent circle or Scentsy buddies or buddy clips or car bars. You can do product specific fundraisers if you want to, but I prefer a full catalog. And then I do not do regular order forms. I do photocopies of order forms. So each packet will have 10 sheets of paper, 2 order forms per sheet. So that's a total of 20 order forms that I give each student. And so yeah, the person placing the order doesn't get a copy unless they want to take a picture of it with their phone. But hey, anytime you order any of those junky fundraisers, you never get receipts. So they can snap a picture of it and all is well. So fundraisers, again, are one of my favorite party styles. And you will find that you get fundraisers and you continue to get fundraisers if you are consistently planting those seeds and offering fundraisers. Just like if you're consistently planting those seeds and offering bag parties. So I want to talk to you real quickly about events and home parties as well. So those are 2 of my other favorite ways to party. So home parties, I think, are just my jam. They really have been a huge part of success in my business, and bag parties as well, of course. But home parties really consistently lead to more bookings, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing them. Really the most important thing about a home party is that you properly coach your hostess. So y'all need to set a date, set a time, wherever she wants to have it. And when you are offering when you're offering home parties to people, remember, it doesn't have to fit into that nutshell, it doesn't have to fit into that box. You guys could have a party at a community swimming pool and the moms hang out under the pavilion and the kids swim and play, or at a park, same kind of thing, or at a wine bar one night. Like, you can do parties anywhere. It doesn't have to be in her home. I've done parties at Panera. I've done a party at Starbucks. I've done a party at a playground. Be flexible with how you do these parties and how you're offering these parties. If you offer a party to somebody and they tell you, oh, well, I don't have the space in my house. Don't just say, oh, okay, and give up. Say, well, there's so many different ways we could do it. We could even, have it at a coffee. I swear, this baby, I cannot think. It's so hard for me to form a sentence, I swear. You can have it at a coffee shop, So it's important that you offer these suggestions to her and you're ready to kind of overcome those objections, right? So, really, your hostess coaching is super important, because if you don't work with that hostess to ensure that people get there, then you're wasting her time and yours. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, oh, well, I don't really coach my hostesses. Well, I guess you're just really wanting to waste your time and hers, because that's what's going to happen. Because if you don't coach her, nobody's going to show up, and you're going to show up with your bag of all your stuff, and you're going to have nobody to talk to but her and maybe her mom. So it's really important that you coach her. So I'm going to share some videos this week with you guys about my home party flow. So how I suggest that you do parties from start to finish, kind of the flow of the evening, how to do a live party presentation if you're doing that type of a party, and also how to close your party successfully. Because for me, every time I go into a home party, my number one goal is to make sure that every single guest at that party has a fantastic time. If they have a great time, I know the result is going to be great sales and great bookings. So that is my number one focus. And then my next priority is to book 3 parties off of that party and a minimum of $500 in sales. So those are my kind of goals as I go into a home party. And that's the thing about the home parties, is they tend to be the biggest PRV monsters. I've never had consistent Facebook parties like I've had consistent parties for in-home parties in regards to PRV. Time after time after time after time, home parties PRV is higher than Facebook party PRV, even bag party PRV. Home parties are where it's at if you want to have to do less parties in a month. Home parties are where it's at, because they do average 500 per home party. So do you have some that are less? Absolutely. Do you have some that are more? Absolutely. But on average, they really are at least 500 PRV. So that's one of the reasons I love them. I feel like your earnings per hour are fantastic with a home party. So, and then the last one I want to talk to y'all about is events. Well, the last one I want to talk to y'all about in detail is events. So vendor events are another way that I have really grown my business. And the reason is because vendor events really expand your network. You could go to an event in a neighboring town and meet 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 new contacts that you would not have known had you not gone to that vendor event. And if you do your due diligence and you ensure that at those vendor events you are getting contact information to follow up with people, connecting to people on social media, you will see the benefits of those networking efforts. So basically, a vendor event works like this. You search Facebook event section on, Facebook. You search, you just by Googling. Like for me, what I tend to Google is, I live in Central Florida. I live in a suburb of Orlando. It's like an hour outside of Orlando. So I will search Central Florida festivals, Central Florida events, Central Florida fairs, things like that. And I will dig through the results and I will look and I find something where the date works for me and it seems like an event where I could set up a Scentsy booth or a Scentsy table, and I call or I email and I ask, hey, do you guys have a Scentsy person already? And if they don't, great, I'm their girl. It's really that simple, but you're not going to find them if you're not looking for them and if you're not consistently looking for them. Like if I looked for vendor events, if I looked for fundraisers, if I looked for bag party or home party or texting party or Facebook party hostesses once a year, my results would be crap, right? But if I am in a consistent pattern of pursuing my favorite party styles every single month, I'm going to see that I'm consistently doing those party styles and more, because guess what? You're going to meet people at these vendor events who want a home party, even if the home party isn't your preferred party style. You're going to meet somebody during a Facebook Live party that wants to do a fundraiser, even though you're not necessarily pursuing fundraisers. Like, stuff will happen outside of your preferred party methods. That's why you need to know how to do it all, because you're going to have people who want to do other things besides your preferred party styles. Okay, so again, vendor events, you're looking for them, you're searching for them consistently, you are setting up a table, and if you're in a shopping environment, let me just add this, if the event is in a mall or in a clothing boutique or in a car dealership or any place where they're selling retail items, you cannot sell products cash and carry. It's considered out of compliance because of direct selling rules. But if you're set up at a park, at a event center, like anywhere like that, anywhere that's not a retail establishment, you are able to sell your products cash and carry, which is always my favorite way to go, because especially with our wax, people love being able to walk away with it. You can see I've got my bars up there all ready to go, and I sort mine by color so they just look so pretty, they catch people's eyes, in addition to the fact that it smells amazing over in my spot. But just like everything you do, when you set up at a vendor event, it's just inevitable that you're going to find other vendor events. I can't tell you how many times I've been slinging wax at an event and someone approaches me and they're like, hey, I have an event next month and we don't have a Scentsy person. Here's my card. I'd love to have you. It happens almost every time. It's crazy. And then if that doesn't happen, I network with my other vendors around me and ask them what they have going on. What events do they have coming up? I share with them what I have coming up. You pat my back, I'll pat yours. You share event leads with one another. And guess what? You find more events just from being at one, even if it was a flop, even if it stinks, because guess what? That happens. You might find an event lead for a fantastic event. You might find your next team member. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've sponsored people that were fellow vendors at a vendor event because they saw how busy my booth was and how well my booth did compared to their homemade stuff that they had, or compared to their other direct selling product that they had. Like, I can't tell you how often that happens too. So good things always come as a result of you putting in effort and you taking action and doing parties. So like I said, there's so many different ways to party. Text parties, it's one we haven't talked about. A text party is simply this. You are doing your follow-up, right? And somebody says to you, oh yeah, I do need some bars. So you say back, hey, I bet you've got some friends who probably could use some bars. Here's an example of a text you could send to a few different friends, see if they need anything, and I can put all of your orders together and get y'all free shipping and some Hostess rewards for you, all from just sending a few texts. Boom, bam. That's how a texting party works. You give her an example of what to say to send to her friends. She can copy and paste that to 5, 10, 15 of her friends that she knows might need some Scentsy, and bam, you got a party. I mean, how cool are texting parties? You can literally, even if somebody's not following, even if you're not following up and someone's like, yeah, I need some bars, you can just send some private messages or send some texts or call some people and ask some people to do a quick text party for you. One of my favorite ways to get that is by reaching out to a home party hostess or a bag party hostess who might not quite be ready to do another traditional party yet. Like they might not be ready to do another bag party or a home party yet, but their friends might be running low on some of their stuff. So that's a perfect time to reach out. Like I like to reach out maybe 2 months after her party, because she might not be ready for a full party yet, but her friends are probably running low. So around that 2-month mark, I like to reach out to my hostess and say, hey, I bet some of your friends, you and some of your friends are running low on some of your Scentsy stuff. You know, here's a quick text message you could send to a few friends, and I bet we can get y'all free shipping and even some hostess rewards for you if you send a few texts out. Give them an example, let them run with it. That's how simple texting parties are. There is nobody on this planet, I don't care how busy you are, how many kids you have, how many jobs you have, there is nobody who doesn't have time to pursue texting parties, okay? It's like so simple. Seriously, it is like the easiest way to get PRV. Okay, so we have texting parties. We have bag parties. Showed you guys my example. Gonna share some more videos throughout the week. We have vendor events, we have fundraisers, we have in-home parties. We went into detail about all of those. What about Facebook parties? That's one of the most popular ways to party nowadays. And Morgan McGee, Superstar Director Morgan McGee, is an expert at Facebook parties. She crushes them. She rocks it. In fact, she has an outline, which is amazing, that I'm going to share here in our group this week so you can utilize her outline as some training content. And then we also have a video of one of her actual Facebook Live parties that she did that we're going to share with you as well, so you can watch how she does it. And that's what we recommend. That's what I really have found to be the most successful. My favorite way to do a Facebook party, and Morgan's favorite way, is to set a date and a time with your hostess. And that date and time is a time where you, as the consultant, will go live and do what I like to call a smell and tell, which means you have a little display set up. Like here's mine. Here's my Facebook party display shelf. Oh, sorry, you can't really see it very well at this angle. So here's my Facebook party display shelf, right? I always have the warmer of the month on display. Of course, my little sign, SSD at work, dream job, on the bottom. I don't have laundry on there because I literally had to use it because I was running low waiting for my Scentsy Club. I have this little washing machine that I got on Amazon. Isn't this cute? Literally, Amazon. So anyway, I have this washing machine down there, and that's where I have the laundry products. Because of course I love to highlight those. Those are some of my favorite consumables. That's kind of like my go-to after I got somebody hooked on warmers and wax. Then I want to get them hooked on laundry because it's the best. But anyway, yeah, so I set a date and a time with my hostess. And at that scheduled date and time, I go live for my smell and tell. I show off some products, talk about the different sizes of warmers, the diffusers, blah, 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 blah. And it's usually about a half hour. And we'll play a game. We will offer a booking incentive of some sort, and we do all that right in her event. And it's really important that your hostess understands we're going live at a date and time for a reason, like try to get people on there live. So it's important to pick a date and time that she thinks will work for the majority of the people in her network. Like the worst thing you could do is like, you know, if most of her friends and family work a traditional job and you guys decide, oh, okay, we're going to do a Facebook Live at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. That obviously is not going to be ideal for her network. You have to work with that hostess and get her to think what's going to be the best time and day for me to go live based on your general network's schedule. It's really important to think about that because you want them on there live. You really want to get as many people on during your live as possible. Now, there are other ways to do Facebook parties. You can, you know, plan a week-long Facebook party and just post a bunch of stuff in there throughout the whole week. I have found that to be the least successful way. I know Morgan doesn't find that to be as successful. And going live might freak you out, but guess what? Nothing good comes from staying in your comfort zone. And if you're here, that's no excuse, period. Like, you're here because you said you want to climb up the compensation plan. So if you want to climb up the compensation plan, then your comfort should be like literally the last thing you care about, period. Like, your comfort doesn't matter, right? Because you want to grow a business. So you better be ready to be uncomfortable a lot. Okay, so we are going to provide more content throughout the week on all the different party styles, right? We're going to provide content for more information on fundraisers, more information on bag parties, more information about events, texting parties, Facebook parties, home parties, all of it. So throughout the week, you're going to see we're sharing a lot of video links and stuff like that. What I want you to understand is Tuesday and Thursday, those are the 2 days of the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we post the other mandatory videos or challenges, okay? So Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, those are your mandatory days, right? Any extras that we post throughout the week are just extras that we know that those of you who are hungry, you're hungry because you're here, right? So those of you who are hungry and want to eat a little bit more this week, right? Want a little bit more meat to digest, it's extras for you guys. But the mandatory videos to watch, challenges to complete are shared on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, okay? So my hope for you guys this week is for you to identify your two, my shoulder just fell, or my elbow just fell off the thing. We want you to identify your two preferred party methods. So again, they are texting, Facebook, bag, in-person, like home parties, vendor events, fundraisers. Those are really the primary ways that you can party, right? We want you to pick your two primary party styles. What two, after you've heard about all of them today, what two are the ones that speak the most to you? That's what I want you to identify. You know, some obviously take more time than others, right? Like vendor events, you know, if you commit to doing a vendor event on a Saturday, it's going to be a lot of the time on your Saturday. You know, if you commit to doing fundraisers, that's a little bit less time consuming, right? You got to give out the packets or whatever it is. Like, you can kind of tell based on your schedule and what you have on your plate, what are going to be the preferred party styles for you. Because this is not like, oh, you know what, Katie said home parties are best, so I'm just going to pick home parties. But home parties really don't work for your schedule because you work night shift, you know. Like, I want you to genuinely choose the party style that works for your lifestyle, because these are the two party styles that every single month, month after month, we want you to have booking conversations for. We want you pursuing these every single month. And that's where your challenge comes in. Okay, so this week, your challenge is obviously to watch this week's video. Watch the video we post on Tuesday and Thursday. Those will both be shorter videos as well. Watching the videos that we post today, Tuesday, and Thursday. And we want you to choose your two party styles. And for each of those two party styles, we want you to have 10 booking conversations. So let's say that your one party style is bag parties. So we want you to reach out to 10 different individuals to offer them a bag party. Let's say that your second party style is fundraisers. We want you to spend some time researching fundraisers, right? Looking for opportunities throughout your list of 100, through your Facebook friends list, thinking about who has connections, right? Like, okay, so her son is in football. Maybe their football team does fundraisers. And, you know, oh, she's in band. Maybe their band does fundraisers. Or, oh, you know, they're involved in church. Maybe their youth group does a fundraiser. Thinking about your network and what fundraiser leads you might have buried in your network that you haven't utilized, right? It's not enough to think about it, right? We want you to have 10 conversations. So you thought of your friend, right, and her son who plays football. So you reach out and you say, you know, hey, Callie, I know Timmy's in football. Do they ever do fundraisers? That's it. That's all we want you to do, right? 10 times, right? 10 different conversations about that fundraiser opportunity that you want to pursue, right? Imagine if you did this every month. Imagine if you chose your 2 preferred party methods, and every month you ensured that you had at least 10 conversations that month pursuing those 2 party styles. Imagine what your calendar would look like. Imagine what your commission checks would look like. Imagine how much your business would grow. And that's the key here. We don't want you to just do this right now because we're challenging you to do this as part of week 2. We want you to get into a habit of having booking conversations for your preferred party methods. I don't expect you to do every single party style all the time, and I expect you to find your preferred method and hustle and make it a success, right? That's what I expect from you, and that's what Morgan expects from you. That's what we expect from ourselves, right? So let this get you into a consistent habit of choosing to have booking conversations. Now, when you want to reach out to somebody to ask them to book a party with you, whether it be a bag party, a home party, a texting party, your language is super important, guys. I just want to wrap it up with this, because if you were to be like, hey, I wondered if you wanted to maybe have a home party, like, if you approach someone about a party and you act as if you're asking them to donate an organ to you, they're probably not going to want to do it. Probably not, right? If you act as if what you are asking them to do is a burden, they're going to automatically respond no, right? But if you ask them in an excited tone, which is always my favorite way to ask. My favorite way is by voice message. I would always prefer to ask someone where they could hear my voice versus typing something, but that's just me. So I always prefer to send voice messages. But anyway, for me, I have found the best way is to stay lighthearted, focus on the positive side of the party, and let your tone and your text all reflect that. So you would just be like, hey, Susie, I was thinking about you today. I thought you might be running low on your Scentsy wax. I'd love to get together with you and your friends and have a girls' night. Something like that, right? Lighthearted. Another thing I love to do to book parties is to, let's say that you aren't necessarily following up. Like, let's just say that it's, you're just pulling it out of nowhere, right? I like to feed off of people who I see like my Scentsy posts or comment on my Scentsy posts. Those are people I like to follow up with. And I'll say like, hey, I just wanted to tell you thanks. It means so much to me that I see you like my posts and stuff for my business. Like, it means a lot. Thank you so much. I'm always looking for people to, party with and spoil and pamper with some great Hostess rewards. And you can take that type of approach as well. It doesn't have to be a follow-up situation. It can be, just, hey, I've seen you supporting my business. I think that's awesome. I'd love to hook you up with some free Scentsy. Let's get some of your girlfriends together. Pursue your party style, right? So insert language that suits that, right? So maybe you're not pursuing home parties. Maybe you're pursuing fundraisers. Tell her, hey, I'm always looking for opportunities to donate to local charities or organizations as a local business owner. So if you hear of anything or you see anything fundraiser related, please let me know. I would love to, get involved and offer a fundraiser. So we want you this week to have 10 booking conversations for your 2 party styles, 10 each. So that's 20 conversations we want to challenge you to have this week. Are you up for the challenge? Are you ready to climb? If you are, let's see it. I know that you can do this. Morgan and I are never going to challenge you to do something that is a waste of your time or that we think won't work, right? Like, we are only going to challenge you to do things that we know are going to stretch you and grow you, yes, but also help you succeed. So we love you guys. We're glad you're here, and let's keep climbing. Bye.